First of all, I'd just like to say thank y'all for what y'all do. It really means a lot to the coaches and also the players. I know the time that y'all put into it. We thank y'all for that, for sharing the game to the communities and promoting it. But I just want to say I'm excited for the season because 3 months ago we weren't sure if we would be able to be here. And just being able to get the guys back, I felt for me personally, it was a great thing for me. From a mental state, not having to worry about where they were and all those things. We stayed in touch, in contact through social media, phone calls, and I talked to them and we'd send out our plans. But we're excited this year. We're moving classifications. We're moving down. Probably the toughest 2A classification last year, with 3 of the 4 teams making it to being left in the 2A finals. Of course, 5 winning it. Beat Collins, so both of those moved up. We expect, to be able to compete in the 2A region as best for Pisgah, going down by numbers, but we're excited about it. We're going to have a young team. We lost 12 seniors last year. We're going to allow the small senior core that we have and our juniors coming back.
Questions? Coach, you guys were really competitive last season in 3A. You went to the playoffs. Moving down to classification to Class 2A, do you and these guys, these players, see an advantage in doing so?
Well, you would like to think that going down would help, but like I said, it was probably the toughest one last year. But hopefully so. We'll see. Not real familiar with coaches left North Sand Mountain. We expect them to be very competitive. Fall moving up. They have a lot of guys coming back, so you think those 2 will be the ones the front runners for the region this year. So that's something that we just hope we can find our niche where it is, grow up a little bit early in the season, and hopefully make the playoffs and make a little noise when we get there.
Well, Coach, this is your
play on what you're talking about for a minute. You got 7 new teams on your schedule. How has that changed your preparation summer-wise? Looking at those, being ready for when that week gets here in the fall.
The coaches have looked at it a little bit. We had some background with these teams, some of them no familiarity at all. We haven't started working on them yet. Our coaches at summer scout a little bit, and they have some stuff that when we get into the fall camp starting next week, we know, hey, this period we're going to work 10 minutes fall ball, or this period we're going to work 10 minutes of North Sand or whoever it might be. But that's something that we have built into the fall camp schedule.
Well, Coach, this being your 3rd year at Pisgah, you feel like you've got the foundation laid to be successful year in and year out?
Yes, sir. That's something we're starting to see some carryover. These guys that played when I got here. Tanner was a sophomore when I got there, played on special teams and contributed to running back. Ryan started as a freshman both ways from the get-go. We're starting to see some carryover, and our kids are starting to understand why we do the things that we do. So that's important. We have that.
Coach, talk a little bit about, no spring practice and how that has affected what you're having to do now.
We lost 12 seniors, and we have a lot of youngsters that's going to have to contribute this year. So that's something that we can't get back. So we try to do a little more this summer. Once July got here, a little more team oriented. We feel like we're further along now than we've been since we've been here. So that's something that we still don't know. We got the pieces put in places, but you know how that goes. We don't find that out until the Jamboree at least. So that's something that the spring we missed out on those 10 days. But it is what it is. We can't control that. So we're just going to continue with what we have.
For the players, okay, you two's been chosen by coach to come here today, which means you're leaders of your football team. How do you feel being the leaders of your team, because you're representing your whole football team here? How does it make you feel?
Being the leader of the team, or being chosen as the leader of the team, kind of makes me feel like I have a big responsibility to make sure everybody's paying attention, everybody's getting what coach is trying to put out for them. And if there are some that aren't really getting it. I feel like that's mine and his responsibility to coach them back up and say, hey, if you're not getting it, you can ask coach or come to one of us and say, hey, can you explain this in a little better situation or a lot? I feel like that's just our responsibility as two of the older players who've been here for a while to make sure everybody's getting what's supposed to be put on the table and paying attention and focusing for the whole year.
Well, being a leader on the team, one of the leaders on the team, being chosen is a good responsibility because the little ones follow you, and what you do, they do. And if you do something wrong, they'll do something wrong. And in the weight room, it's a big energy this summer. You've been doing great. Say one of me or Karen, one of the leaders on the team, do something good. They'll want to do more, work harder, and they just make you want to do 110% of your play. Doing drill, they're screaming and yelling, just having fun.
Coach, a new year means a new team, but in your mind as a coaching staff, after you've kind of had time to look back at last season, what's one area or some areas that you look back and say, we've got to be better this year in order to be more effective and get where we want to be?
On the offensive side, we were able to bring in a new coach, and Adam Gilbert. He's been a head coach at multiple places. This one help us on the offense. He's also the offensive line coach. We've got to improve in the line of scrimmage. Really on both sides there, but offensively more so in the line of scrimmage. Defense, we got to tackle better. We didn't do a very good job last year. That was on me. I'm in charge of the defense, call it defense, but that's something that's very important for us. We've spent a lot of emphasis this summer working on offensive line play, as much as we can do, and also improving our tackling.
Coach, talk a little bit about, you've got your father will be a Alabama Hall of Fame coach at some point, I think, and of course you've got a brother who is a head coach at the University of Tennessee. What kind of influence have they had on your coaching? And then also, do you have them on speed dial so you can call them up if you've got some problems or need to ask a question?
It's funny you ask that. I've spent more time probably than my kids have with Jeremy during the pandemic than we have in the last 10 years. That's something that he got to come watch him play Little League baseball, and that's something that, they were fired up to see Uncle Jimmy there. But I talk to him all the time. Dad's lifting at night, we're lifting at night because we have some guys that need to go work, and I told him I'd never take away, I'm not going to get in the way of that. But talk to him every night, either going to practice or coming home from practice. We're both on the road talking as we go. Getting Jeremy's installs or whatever. We're making it down to where we can do those things. It's constant. If I have a question, I can shoot him a text. But I'm lucky to know a lot of his assistants, and I have their numbers, and I don't have to deal with him. I can just go straight to him. That's something but we're all the time talking. Not so much with Jeremy because his little boys, when we're talking, it's more family time because we need to spend a lot of time together, even though we're just 3 hours away. But his schedule and our schedule, but that's something we do. We FaceTime twice, 2 or 3 times a week. And, but me and Dad are talking all the time. But if there's a question I have, he'll answer it. Usually I have to text and say, look, I'm fixing to call you. I need to know this, this, and this. So, it may be 2 minutes, that he may be between staff meetings or whatever, but he'll answer. But if he doesn't answer, I'll call one of the other ones, and usually they'll answer.
This is for the players. Coach Pruitt has some little boys that come to practice with him, his sons. They, along with the other small children of Pisgah is such a tight-knit place, and they're so involved in athletics. What do y'all want to hand down to that generation that's looking up to you? What legacy do you want to leave behind for the future Pisgah Eagles?
I would like to leave behind just for them to see us and think that, man, we see them every day just working hard. I would like to see them come up and do as good and hopefully better than we ever could at any sport they want to play. I hope that we leave down and show them how to respect their coaches and their players, how to listen and how to follow orders and be the best they possibly can be.
Well, I hope we teach them, work hard, 100% of the play, and be a good son to the dad. make sure we say the right things so they say the right things. And we'll be practicing, and these kids will have youngers out there in the weight room or in the field house, and they'll just be sitting there running them over and having fun. And I like to see them there and see them working hard.
Who are your biggest fans?
Yes, ma'am.
That's something I like to add to that. Last year we get beat in the playoffs in Huntsville, and my wife comes in the locker room and was like, I'm coming to get the boys, and they didn't want to leave, so they wouldn't ride the bus on. They got pretty upset because she was going to make them, so she allowed them to ride the bus on. But we get back, we're upset. We got beat. Both of them went to sleep. They had their little blankets with them, and I had seniors drag them in. They were asleep. So here, coach, I'm gonna put them on the couch. So that's something. We try to have we break on family every day. We want our guys around there because I want them to see me in the dad aspect also. Because it's not about wins and losses. It is, but it's not. It's about molding men to become positive citizens and husbands and fathers for the next generation.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of what I was going to ask you about, because a couple times when I've talked to you, Saturday's your kids' day. You probably don't go to many Tennessee football games because you told me that Saturday is your kids' day because you're so busy. And I guess you instill that into these kids, how important family is.
That is. That's something that, actually, Tanner's dad has helped in the past with us. He's not going to this year, but that's something Ron had his dad just had he just had a liver transplant. He's doing really well. That's something that we were on the phone about 4 a.m. that morning when it was taking place. But Saturday is our day, and they taught me into letting them play Pee Wee, so that's new to us this year. So we're excited about that. They're fired up. So that's something we don't get to go all the time, but since they moved the season back, we'll get to pretty much get most of our season in, and then get to still go to the games. So that's something that they're lucky. They don't understand it now. They will 10 years from now. They have a favorite player. They watch them ever play. One of them, Odison loves the quarterback for Tennessee, JG. He watches him ever play. And then Marquez Callaway just graduated Whitehouse, my middle boy's favorite play. And, they watch him ever. Did you see Marquez block? Did you see? He made that. It's all the time. So that's something that's we get to do. We get to enjoy. Football has been part of my family my whole life, and that's something that's the things I learned from it. I just want to try to instill into those guys and plus our players.